Hi, I'm June. All right, let's start with some artwork today. 24K is actually here. I videoed him while I was getting everything set up. He was just like right on time. It's hilarious. He's coming in earlier now that I'm doing videos earlier. So he likes to be filmed actually. So he's right there. All right, so I'm gonna start my process. The reason I do a full video like this is so that you can kind of, if you're interested, see what's going on a little bit. And then also like to see that it's legit. So I have different types of greens that I like to work with. And this one's gonna be Van Dyke green, olive green, but then I mix a lot of other things. Burnt sienna, but I use like burnt umber, raw umber, different things, but today I feel like yellow ochre and a little bit of yellow. I don't know how to say this one. Quinoflora, yellow light. Quinoflatholone, yellow light. That was a mouthful. Okay, you know what, to make it go fast, I'm going to use this brush initially. I really didn't intend my video last time to be an hour and 8 minutes, but with artwork, you never know. A lot of artwork can take days and months, actually. I use long strokes. I use my golf swing, so it quickens the process. I don't dot it as much as you notice. Sometimes I do, depending on what I'm doing. This is on wood panel. Which watercolor, it was a learning curve for me. It was really trial and error because watercolor is encouraged to do on paper. And of course, I always have to try everything out. And I'm like, you know what, let me see, like, why does it always have to be on paper? And then when I see like a fuzz or something, to take it out like that. Okay. I'll leave this here. Yeah. Wood panel, I find, is very challenging with watercolor. That's why it was kind of fun to explore. Because it's like, all right, why does it not work? Try to not make so much noise. Wow. Okay. And I just started to explore, and I'm like, okay, maybe everybody's right. I went through that with golf, right? And freediving. I just was like, let's see, like, that's Nalu. I'm like, let's see, why is it not working? So this process, like every part of it, when I initially worked on wood panel, nothing went right. And doing this part didn't feel right either. Like, because watercolor is so watery, it just went all gone. I'm like, oh wow, okay, I see why nobody likes to use a surface like this, or not a lot of people. So I couldn't find, there's not much on it. Okay, so I just started playing around with it. It definitely shows errors, you know, like meaning, like, do you see these strokes? You can see it everywhere. And I use it to my advantage because there's a part of artwork I'm finding that I love things that are bokeh'd out, like the bokeh effect. It's kind of a little abstract and hazy and a little blended where it's not defined edges. And then I like really precise brush strokes. So wood panel, everything has to be, it doesn't have to be, but I feel like if the brush strokes aren't precise, at some point it just doesn't look as smooth. It's really like, what I'm saying is it's a little bit less forgiving. Unless you just pour on, like I do a kind of a pouring kind of way, and then yeah, I mean, it's not so defined. And it's really pretty too. It's a pretty way to paint as well. I don't know where 24K is. I'm sure he'll come down because I have his bread and banana slices in there. Let me just lift this up so it doesn't make so much noise. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this here. Normally I clean out the brush, but I like leaving it here for now for the video. So let me do, okay. Just gonna go a little bit. I have an idea of what I want to do, but sometimes like I don't know if I should say it because it can shift quickly. And there's been so many times where I would paint and then sometimes I turn it completely around. It would start with a certain color and then completely change. It could be a nature scene and turn into an ocean scene. I've had where I'm painting an ocean and I painted a bird, because as the paint and water and everything flows, I want to go with the flow of the artwork. And then like I see things and I'm like, you know, I want to go that direction. And I want to continue to do that because it makes it very authentic and original. So for now, I see water, but I still can do nature, and I want to do nature. But I really see water, like I absolutely love, I could like paint water all the time because there's just so many ways to paint water, ocean, streams, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to like not do it. Shoot, it's turning into water. I'm gonna do water. I was going to do a nature scene, like a forest kind of, like, you know, no water around kind of scene. Yeah, it's gonna be water. It's not going to be an ocean. It's going to be a stream. And it feels like this stream that I've actually like walked into and spent time there. Oh wow, I totally see it. So what I'm gonna do is, within the stream there's pebbles and things like that, but today I'm not gonna put any. In the future maybe I will do one like that because those are always fun. I want to keep it really like simple and sleek. Yeah. Okay. So I got this new brush that Adam got for me, and I absolutely love it. And I'm still learning. I'm gonna do more of this. It's the olive green. I'm gonna add some black. And I wanna add some blue. Let me go really light. Just a tiny bit of cerulean blue, just a tiny bit. Oh, there he is. Hey, 24K. And then a little bit of red light red, it says. And a little bit of that quinavle yellow. Quinoflone. Can you read that, 24K? Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. So I've never used this brush on the wood panel. So this is going to be the first time, and very interesting. But you have to explore, right? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, adjust. So I'm going to kind of mix everything. But I also like it to mix on the surface. So it's going to be a stream, and then there's going to be like a, well, you'll see. I'm going to see if this works on wood panel. It works, but I want it to kind of dig in. So I don't know if this will. Okay, okay, let's see. We'll see if I like it. I don't know if my head's in the way. Yeah, it's, yeah. All right, I'm liking this. I love a few things that I love in the artworks that I've been, what do you call it? Producing, I guess? Making? Creating? Yeah, I like that. The ones that I've been creating is I love light, dimension, like depth, and flow. And that it's also intuitive, naturally flowing, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna have like, this is gonna be a long stem. And also that it feels good. When I'm painting, I always want to be in a good space to resonate through the artwork. I think that's very important. So we just send out good vibes, right? I really like that. So I'm going to do, because when you stand in a stream, a bunch of like leaves and things can fall down. I'm gonna see, okay, I'm gonna do a different one. Because it's always fun to explore, right? Hopefully this will work. I've never done this one before. So I'm gonna go this way. So this is just like a twig that just broke off from a tree. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yes. I want it to go past the edges. Yeah. That's fun. See the light? Everything has beautiful light expressions. That was Nalu. He's just chowing down. 24K. He's having bananas, his favorite pink bread. Okay. I'm gonna lower my seat just a little bit. There we go. Yeah. I like that. I'm gonna add, which I wasn't gonna do, because it was just gonna be a twig, but it wants to have, oh wait, let me think, what color? Ah. Bright clear violet with a little bit of white. And you just kind of got a little bit of white. I like that. And then I'm just gonna put, there's whoa, Nalu. He lays down right below the easel, and he doesn't like to, he just moves it around sometimes. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that flafflone blah blah yellow. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of white. Okay. So that fell off, the branch fell off, and it's just kind of going down the stream. And you could even envision maybe a tree over here, and then it's just a branch, right? Looking over, kind of like coming over the stream. So whatever you imagine. Okay, so now, so when I was standing in the stream, there was this, so maybe I can replicate it. I'm gonna add, it was actually like fully white, but I'm gonna add a little bit of the red. So I just remember like this flower. It was really tiny, actually. Floating along. Yeah. I don't want to make it perfect, although it was perfect, but I just want to like keep it kind of flowing with everything. And it had a center, but I'm going to just put a little bit of the yellow. I won't even attempt to say it. And then I'll just put a few little dots. But it was actually like this white flower, and it was very small in my hand.
Watch this. Ooh, I gotta get that one. Look at that.
And I would also like have these kind of, the leaves that I remember were bigger. It was this style, but it was longer. And it would just kind of like, you lift it up and it kind of like would lift the water, and it'd be really flimsy. I'll do one more leaf, and I think that would be enough. I want to do one where it's kind of like, let's see, like over here. And it's just kind of like turning brown, but at the same time, a little bit of green. So it's got like all sorts of things with it. Ooh, I like what's happening to that leaf. Hi. Yeah. Da Vinci, I call him sometimes Da Vinci, aka 24K. So it's browning, so I'm going to put it on the edges. And then it's just sort of folds over. And I like this look right here. It's kind of like when, oh, this is cool. I'll make it really brown and almost black at the edges, and then just kind of like let it feel sort of shriveled at the edges. Because I love admiring leaves on the trees because there's so many shapes and colors, and there are beautiful like just green fresh leaves, but also the ones that are like dark, you know, they're turning darker and then they're shriveling and things like that. And then some, I just love it where it's just like crispy. And then they fall off and it's just beautiful. Like every single leaf, I've never seen a leaf that is not beautiful. So this one is so pretty. Yay! So that's flowing along. Ooh, that was fun. I want to do another leaf. Let's do one that's like a little more precise. Just a little more like, you know, very much alive, but it's like this, like, perfect. I mean, it's perfectly defined. Yeah. Ooh, I just want to leave it like that. Yeah. It's so fun. You know what? This area is going to have a lot of stuff going on. I told you I was going to do one more leaf and then I'm done. Sometimes this could have just done it. You know, some things I do, I'm just like, that's it. But there are days where like I also like to explore. So today is more like, all right, I got the wood panel out and, you know, I've been painting on paper for a while. I haven't done wood panel in a while. But see how it like transfers? Like my skill on the wood panel is getting better too. Yeah. Gonna let that curl over. I like that. cool. And then I'll have, it kind of caves in, so I'm gonna make it better here. So let it stick out more. Yeah, that's cool. I want to leave that. And then the stem a little bit longer. Then some stems have like, yeah, a little knob at the end. Ooh, that's so fun. Let's add another one up here. That's a little more like flowy. It's like, all right, I'm just going with the flow. We're going. That's cool. Let's add a little more here. Yeah. I'm gonna add a little more like dark here to create more depth, so that it doesn't just blend with the water. It just kind of like shows that it has definition. Whoa, oh my gosh. I hope that doesn't mess with the zooming of the camera. Yeah, so it adds a little more depth. And then I'm going to just kind of let it flow with it, get some water going. Soften it up just a little bit. Yes. I'm gonna check the camera to make sure it's flowing. Let me see. Okay. All right, so it looks zoomed, like it looks clear, hopefully. I won't really know for sure until I'm editing this. Okay. Yes. I like those lights reflecting right there. This one's fun. Sometimes it's fun to just do one stroke and then be done with it, but then it's fun to add like these little details too. So that's what's cool, is it's there's so many ways. Yeah. Now I'm gonna smoothen it out with some green. Because one leaf can have so many colors. That one's so cool. And just a little bit. Sometimes you just See some white. I like that. Okay. What do you think? Should I add another flower? You know what? I think this is good. You know, this is fun. It's just like flowing. But since I'm practicing, okay, one more leaf. Yeah, one more leaf. Since I'm just practicing. Okay, this one, a little bit of red. Yeah. That's so cool. All right, I'm gonna do something that I'm not sure if it's gonna work like on this wood panel because I do it on paper, but this is a real way to experience that. You remember I always like talk about in golf, and then like to make breakthroughs or to learn from it, you got to make some mistakes. So artwork can be just as difficult of any skill set. You think, okay, it's just art, or some people are like, oh my gosh, it's art, you know, that's difficult. What I mean is like to make breakthroughs, sorry, to make breakthroughs, come back 24K, he'll be back. To make breakthroughs, you have to like mess it up a little bit or a lot. And so it's you, especially somebody like me that hasn't had a lot of art experience. I mean, I didn't start this that long ago. And so it's like, ooh, it's just great. I'm just going to leave it alone. But you want to like make some mistakes. And then the mistakes can be great. If not, it's like, okay, next time maybe not. But then also maybe you try it again to see if it works. But when I see things in the water, I don't see them all floating on top of the surface. Some are beneath the surface. Some are like half in the water and part out of the water. So I just want to like create a little bit of like that, you know, yeah, that kind of thing. It's not all perfectly floating. I'm going to leave this here because I want to have it where it could be a branch if you see it that way. So if anything, it's going to be in the water here, but not up here because you can look at it any which way. So I want to kind of mess with the flowers a little bit to not make it too like perfect. And then see how the water can drip, which actually it's a good thing if you keep it from like, I don't want that drippy look in this. So I can use it to create it like a shadow in the water. And so that it doesn't have that drip look. And then I'm gonna go really soft here and then make it kind of ripply. There we go. Cool, I like that. And how it just kind of like reflects and mirrors So the reflection, it kind of like the light bounces off the leaf and the water. Yeah, I like that. Cool. I'm gonna be done with this one. I'm not going to add any more, because sometimes I'll go back and then maybe touch it up. But not this one. It feels complete. It just, there's that completion. And then sometimes when I play around and add a bunch of stuff, what I like to do is keep going and then completely use it as a practice, where I feel like this is good. I practice, but it also looks great. Yeah, great. So I hope you enjoyed this process. It's been super fun. And this is another way where I say, like, enjoy the process. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're learning, whatever skill set you want to do, it absolutely does not have to be art or anything, but whatever it is, enjoy the process. And don't be afraid to try different things, make mistakes, because a lot of those mistakes are never mistakes if you learn from them. And then it can also be breakthroughs. And to me, like, doing that added more, so it was like a breakthrough for me. All right, take care. Peace. Oh, there's 24K. I'll do a close-up of him with my phone so you can see.